Om Vasudevasutam Devam Kausachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagadgurum Shri Krishna Vande Jagadgurum Om Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Pranams from Dr. R.J. Kalpana. Welcome to the study of the Bhagavad Gita. In this session, we will continue with our study of chapter 9, RajaVidyaRajaGuhya, the sovereign science and the sovereign secret. In the previous shlokas, Krishna talks about the various modes of approach that people take towards the divine and the various aspects of the divine that they consider important. We looked at the unmanifested reality and the manifested divinity. We looked at the concept of Nirguna Brahma and the concept of the Saguna Brahman. And we understood that it is the divine principle that works as a substratum on which the entire universe is balanced upon. Now we come to Shloka 20. Those who perform action with some interested motive, as laid down in these three Vedas, and drink the sap of the Soma plant, and have thus been purged of sin, worshipping me through sacrifices, seek access to heaven. Attaining Indra's paradise as the result of their virtuous deeds, they enjoy the celestial pleasures of gods in heaven. So here Krishna talks about those people who perform their actions but do not give up the fruits of their actions. So thereby they perform the actions with very specific targeted desires. They want children, they want to get married, they want to get wealth, they want to acquire property, whatever. And those actions that they perform are of course prescribed in the Vedas. And also they who have finished some part of their samskaras, and thereby they have access to heaven, to Swargaloka, and there they have access to Indra's heaven because of their virtuous good samskaras, and there they enjoy the celestial pleasures for a brief duration of time. Shloka 21. Having enjoyed the extensive heaven world, they return to this world of mortals on the stock of their merits being exhausted. Thus, devoted to the ritual with interested motive, recommended by the three Vedas as the means of attaining heavenly bliss and seeking worldly enjoyments, they repeatedly come and go. So here Krishna says that once they have completed exhausted their good samskaras. So from the Swarga Loka, they will once again return back to earth. And then, because they have already been established on the path of Vedic sacrifice, Vedic rituals, Vedic rites, they will continue on that path and also seek worldly enjoyments. And therefore, they will build up their good samskaras in such a manner, then they will go to Swargaloka, Indra's domain, enjoy the celestial pleasures, and once again return back to a human form. Shloka 22. The devotees, however, who loving no one else constantly think of me and worship me in a disinterested spirit, to those ever united in thought with me, I bring full security and personally attend to their needs. This is a promise of Krishna that we must all remember, because it is made in good faith and it will be held in good faith on the part of the divine. It is up to us to live up to that expectation, to be on the path of the divine with constant remembrance, with a heart overflowing with love and compassion, and to seek the divine for no selfish motives, with no selfish desires. And then, having fulfilled these conditions, we may be rest assured that we are under the protection of Krishna. So essentially, we should be like the child, continually depending on its mother for everything, for its entertainment, for its sustenance, for its protection, for the very act of creation itself. Shloka 23. Arjuna, even those devotees who endowed with faith worship other gods, worship me alone, though with a mistaken approach. So here Krishna is referring to all the other demigods and all the other celestial entities other than him, and says that even those devotees who worship the other celestial entities, and they worship the entities for certain very specific desires, specific motives, they too eventually worship me, but they don't come directly to me. They use a mistaken approach. Shloka 24. For I am the enjoyer and also the Lord of all sacrifices, but they know me not as reality, hence they fall. And so Krishna says that it doesn't matter whom you approach, whom your Ishta Devata is, because at the end of the day, it is Krishna who is the Lord of all sacrifices. It is Krishna who enjoys all the sacrifices. It is Krishna who is the divine principle that sustains the entire universe. And if they do not realize that, if there is no God realization, then they will return back to life on earth. Shloka 25. Those who are vowed to gods go to gods. Those who are vowed to the mains reach the mains. Those who adore the spirits reach the spirits. And those who worship me come to me alone. That is why my devotees are no longer subject to birth and death. So now let us understand what Krishna is trying to say in this shloka. Those who worship the gods, right? So those who worship all those innumerable pantheon, the Hindu pantheon of gods, which the British are very fond of saying. So all those other gods that they worship, their reach is only thus far and no further. Their reach is only up till their celestial dimension. Even Brahma has a limitation. Even Brahma is subject to the laws of creation itself. So understand very clearly what Krishna is saying here. Those who are vowed to gods go to the gods. If our approach is only till high school education, then that's all we are going to achieve. If our goal is a university level education, then we will achieve a university level education. So think very clearly about this. How long are we going to remain in the kindergarten of our lives? When are we going to acquire our PhDs? Those who are vowed to the mains reach the mains. The mains are those who are our ancestors, right? So those who do Pitratarpana, Shraddha, in honor of their departed ancestors, etc., etc., and who adopt certain practices, Pitravrataha, and they perform those rituals with a motive to migrate to the world of their ancestors. They reach that world only. They reach that dimension only. And those who adore the spirits, again, those entities strictly tamasic in character, reach those dimensions which are hardly supportive and conducive of a spiritual evolution. And those who worship Krishna, those who worship the manifested divinity and the unmanifested reality, they attain union with the divine, and they are no longer subject to the laws of creation. Shloka 26. Whosoever offers to me with a love, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even water, I appear in person before that disinterested devotee of sinless mind, and delightfully partake of that article offered by him with love. So here Krishna says that even the smallest of offering, a flower, a leaf, and even water, if it is offered with love and without without any motive, a disinterested devotee of a sinless mind, then I will appear before that person and partake of that article. Our Puranas and Itihasas are replete with stories where ordinary people have approached and offered the divine with such simple grace. Take the story of Sabari. Take the story of Sudama, who only had a handful of beaten rice, poha, to offer to Krishna. And just that mere act of offering was accepted with so much grace and so much delight that it was a life transforming experience for Sudama. And so too with Sabari, a tribal woman who had nothing to offer to Rama. All she had was a few fruits from the forest, and even that was accepted with such divine grace. There was once in the channel a question and answer session, and there was a gentleman who was explaining the various rituals to be undertaken during certain days of puja. There was a caller on the phone who asked him, "So you have asked me to place 108 flowers before the deity, the divine, the god. So should these flowers, can I offer 108 flowers made, shaped out of gold or silver?" And the gentleman on the TV said that if you want to show off your status, your financial status to your community, then you may very well offer flowers shaped out of gold or silver or any other metal. But the divine will be happy with any flower that is offered with love, with bhakti and shraddha. So now we come to Shloka 27. Arjuna, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as oblation to the sacred fire, whatever you bestow as a gift, whatever you do by way of penance, offer it all to me. And so here Krishna gives us a very important spiritual secret. Offer everything to the Lord. And why? So we can be free from our samskaras. We need not go on creating samskaras. We already have our suitcase of samskaras that we need to empty. There is no point if we keep on adding more samskaras. So whatever we do, whatever we eat, offer it to the divine. Shloka 28. With your mind thus established in the yoga of renunciation, you will be freed from the bonds of karma in the shape of good and evil consequences, and freed from them you will attain me. So here Krishna explains what I have just explained of why we should offer everything to Krishna. Even our acts, our thoughts, our very being, offer it to Krishna. So because we walk on the path of renunciation, karma samanyasa yoga, the yoga of renouncing our actions even, then we will be freed from the bonds of samskaras. And having been freed from them, we will stand a chance of merging, uniting with the divine. Shloka 29. I am equally present in all beings. There is none hateful or dear to me. They, however, who devotedly worship me, abide in me, and I too stand revealed in them. So here Krishna says that I am there in everyone. I am omnipresent. I have no value judgments, I have no prejudices, no biases. I play no favorites. I hate none, nor do I have any favorites. Everybody stands equal in my eyes. And they who devotedly worship me abide in me, and I stand revealed in them. Mother Yashoda, out of her immense love for this little child that had come into her life, not even considering that the child was not born of her own, and yet showered all her love upon this child. Was blessed to see the divine in Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is this incident where Krishna, as children are wont to do, was eating mud in the garden. And Yashoda comes and scolds Krishna and forcibly opens his mouth to remove the mud. And when laughingly Krishna opens his mouth, she sees entire universes churning inside him. Shloka 30. Even if the vilest sinner worships me with exclusive devotion, he should be accounted a saint, for he has rightly resolved. So here Krishna says, of his compassion, that even if the vilest of sinner turns towards the divine, then he will be considered a saint because he made the right choice. Shloka 31. Speedily he becomes virtuous and secures lasting peace. Know it for certain, Arjuna, that my devotive never fails. So the first step is to turn towards the divine. Worship me with exclusive devotion. Then even the sinner will become virtuous and secures lasting peace. And so Krishna says that my devotive never falls. So whoever worships Krishna is not forsaken. Shloka 32. Arjuna, women, Vaishyas, Sudras, as well as those of vile birth, whoever they may be, taking refuge in me, they too attain the supreme goal. Now, this shloka has been oft quoted by people who are against Hinduism and taken out of context, and of course with very minimal and non-existent understanding of the meaning of this shloka. They have often derided that women are clubbed with Shudras and people of vile birth. Now, let us understand this shloka within its proper context. The reason women, Vaishyas and Sudras are clubbed together is because they have more responsibilities in daily living. The women are caregivers in the family. They hardly ever think of themselves. They're constantly looking after someone or the other. They do not have time. They do not even have that selfishness within them that they should stop to look after themselves. They should stop to look after, to achieve their spiritual goals. The Vaishyas too, members of the trading classes and agricultural landowners, they too are constantly busy with business dealings, profit and loss, busy with farming, worried about the storage of grains, the selling of grains, monsoons, lack of monsoons. The Shudras, the laboring and artisan classes, who are more concerned with where their next meal is coming from. So all of these three types of people in the social order, they're all constantly concerned with very different things for their own, supporting their role. Now, the Brahmins, on the contrary, they're already on the path to the divine. Their bread and butter are the Vedic rituals, are the Vedas, are the Veda Patashalas, the priests in the temples, the kingmakers, the advisors. They are on the path. The Kshatriyas, again, they too in a way are on the path because they too received the education of the divine. They are constantly in touch with the Brahmins. They are constantly consulting the Brahmins for every act, every decision that they make. They are constantly indulging in yajnas, in sacrifices, in Ashwamedha yajna, Dashashwamedha yajna, Mrityunjaya yajna, etc. So they too in a way are already on the path towards the divine. But it is these three segments of social orders, the women, the Vaishyas and the Sudras, who are more burdened with maintaining a certain social order, that it takes time for them to come to the path of the spiritual evolution. But Krishna says that even they, when they take refuge in me, they too can attain the supreme goal. Shloka 33. How much more then, holy Brahmanas and royal sages devoted to me? Therefore, having obtained this joyless and transient human life, constantly worship me. So if these people who are burdened, whose daily actions, whose daily living takes them away from the divine, even the moment they turn towards the divine, they stand a very firm chance of attaining the divine. So Krishna says, think how much more closer am I to the Brahmins, to the Kshatriyas, the royal sages, the Raja Rishis, who are devoted to me, who do not do anything without consulting me, without seeking my prayers, my blessings. And therefore, Arjuna, having come on this human dimension, having taken a human form, which is joyless and so transient, constantly worship the divine. And so we come to the last shloka of this chapter, shloka 34. Fix your mind on me, be devoted to me, worship me and make obeisance to me, thus linking yourself with me and entirely depending on me, you shall come to me. And so Krishna here gives us the methodology by which we can attain him. 1. Fix our mind. Self-discipline and self-control. Harness our thoughts. It is said that in a minute we have nearly 77.9 thoughts. Our brains are firing away like pistons, working overtime with thoughts which are utterly useless, which do not bring us either joy or happiness. So harness those thoughts. Bring your mind under control. Use your intellect and keep it firmly fixed on the divine. Let your heart overflow with love towards the Creator, of whom we are a part of, but we have come so far away from home that we have forgotten what it is like to be one with the universe, to have a cosmic consciousness that ascends celestial dimensions. Be entirely dependent on Krishna. Accept everything that comes our way. The 3 A's are essential on the spiritual path. Accept, appreciate, adapt. Accept everything that comes our way as a gift of the divine, because it has come to bring us that much more closer to Him. Appreciate the opportunity that we have received. Let us be grateful that we are constantly being given opportunities to come closer to Him. And adapt. Let us modify our behaviors, our attitudes, our thoughts, our actions, so they don't take us away from the divine, but helps us unite with Him. Om Tat Saditi Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayan Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade RajaVidyaRajaGuhyaYoga Nama Navamodhyayaha. Thus, in the Upanishad sung by the Lord, the science of Brahma, the scripture of yoga, the dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna ends the 9th chapter titled The Yoga of the Sovereign Science and the Sovereign Secret. Om Yogeshau Satchidanandam Vasudevam Rajapriyam Dharma Samstapakam Viram Krishna Vande जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णो वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् ॐ श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।